So let's move on to Sunday. You'll be riding high off a Rams upset win that will bankrupt me for the rest of the postseason. I'm sure that will happen.
I would love that.
I'm going to 305 in Kansas City. We have the Browns 10-point underdogs against the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's a big spread.
Very big spread.
It's a big spread. And I don't know which side to take on this one. I honestly, I like the underdogs in every game besides the Rams game because I'm a Rams fan and I'm like, I know that they will hurt me. But so yeah, if I had to choose one, I might go Browns plus 10 here. They looked great last weekend.
They looked great. And I'm leaning Browns here too, because aren't the Browns kind of built to play the Kansas City Chiefs? They've got two good running backs. They have a passing game that's always running the clock, and their best defensive weapons are best wielded when you're trying to pass the ball. So,
yeah, that's true. I do think that the Chiefs will score basically at will because the Browns secondary is really, really bad and can't defend the pass. But I think that the Browns showed something that they can keep up even if the Chiefs score 40 points. The Browns could keep it close with their offense. Yeah, this is going to be a great game. This might be the game I'm most excited about because I have the least expectations of. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know one thing though, and it's my first prop bet. Kareem Hunt is out for blood, baby. It's a revenge game. And I think the Browns will feed him the ball. He was, for whatever reason, he's become kind of the goal line back. He gets a lot of touches, even though they have arguably the second or third best running back in the NFL in Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt is still very, very involved in the Browns offense. And he's used not primarily, but pretty often as a pass-catching running back. He's in on passing downs. The Chiefs have allowed the most receiving yards to running backs this year. 846 yards on the season to running backs in the air. So I'm taking Kareem Hunt over 15.5 receiving yards.
What? That line is crazy.
It's pretty low, right?
That's really wild. And he runs receiver routes.
Yep.
He's used all over this offense. He could get that on a single play. Wow. I love that. Over 15.5, minus 115. And I agree with you. This game is all about how the Browns use their running backs. That's the beauty of the Kevin Stefanski offense. And it's worked pretty well in the postseason. Going back to the last few years against New Orleans, we saw Minnesota get some favorable outcomes that surprised a lot of people there. Will we see Cinderella come back again this weekend? I don't think so, but I think the Browns are going to play a good game.
Yeah.
I think their running backs are going to dominate here. And so I like longest rush band. Good little payout here. Nick Chubb over 30 plus 290.
He has been busting them lately. Like last week, he had that long one at the end. Yeah, I could see this happening for sure.
Yeah, and when the Browns are front running, it's usually capped off with a Nick Chubb long run. Like that's almost just a function of when they're at their best. So if the Browns show up, and they have every reason to because they were so depleted last week, it's got to be just a breath of fresh air getting everyone back. And that being said, their corners are back. Denzel Ward, Kevin Johnson. And so maybe they'll have good pass coverage there. So I like for the Chiefs, Travis Kelce over 81.5 yards, minus 115.
Okay.
So
yeah, I was looking at Kelce stuff also. I think he'll have a good game.
Yeah, I think so. And I've spent enough time around Browns fans this year to know how they feel about Sendejo in coverage.
Yeah.
They aren't thrilled. I think Denzel Ward's an awesome player. And I think there's going to be pressure from the Browns. So Mahomes will be forced to get the ball out early to his big target.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could see the overhitting on any of these Chiefs, like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, any of them. Yeah, I like that pick a lot. He's going to be super involved. He's other than Tyreek, the biggest part of their offense.
Yeah, and in an outdoor game where it's going to be probably vital to get a few third downs, he's the guy they go to. He's the most reliable one on the roster. So Kelce over 81.5.
My Chiefs pick is, I mean, it goes along with yours. I have Patrick Mahomes pass attempts over 39.5 and minus 128. Wow. He throws the ball a lot. I mean, that's all it is. The Chiefs love to throw the ball. They have the best quarterback in the NFL. They're going to let him throw the ball. In the regular season, he only had 5 games with less than 40 pass attempts. He throws all the time. And all of those were in pretty big wins. So if you expect this game to stay within the number of 10, he'll probably throw the ball a lot. And the Browns, this is a weird stat, but teams passed on the Browns 582 times this year, which is 8th most in the NFL for whatever reason. I think it's because their pass defense is kind of bad and they know they can exploit that. And then on the other hand, the Browns rush defense allowed the 8th fewest rushing yards. So also the Chiefs running backs right now, it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is coming off an injury, who has not been good since like week 4. It's Le'Veon Bell, who looks okay. So I think they'll use their Tyreek Hill, their Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. They're really, really like unstoppable players.
Yeah, and I love it. As we've gone through the whole season, we learn more about what lines actually have a fair bit of value in them. And attempts seems like the easiest one to forecast of any statistic. You could just look at the play calling. Like we liked Roethlisberger over attempts last week, and he threw for 500 yards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's easy to forecast. And my only worry here is the effectiveness of the Cleveland running game. Again, it could just be a lot of clock run from that play calling.
Yeah, could be. I just think, if the Browns are down, they're going to have to throw it at some point. So you can't run it out the whole time.
Yeah, so my favorite one for this game is probably the Kareem Hunt receiving over. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was the one that really jumped out to me just because it's so low. I know he doesn't really average a ton of receiving yards per game, but in this specific game, with like the story behind it, with the Chiefs defense being the way it is, it just seems like also you can't really trust me. Last week I said that JD McKissic would definitely have 6 catches. He had 4, but it wasn't Alex Smith. So you can't blame me for that. But this is another one of those where I'm like, yeah, this feels great. And then it'll probably flop, but no, it'll hit for sure.
Yeah, that's hitting for sure. I mean, it's Kareem Hunt in the pass game. They're going to use him against his own team. He's been giving them all the insights during practice week, which they were allowed to have this week. So more reason to take the Browns there.
Yeah, and all the head coach.
Yeah, do you think the Browns showing up, do you think that's going to change the way NFL teams think about rest and practice leading up to these playoff games?
It should. It seems like this happened with the Titans earlier this year too, where they couldn't practice all week and then they showed up and they won. Like, how important is it really to be practicing if you can just like have these meetings online, have the players like go through the playbook with the coaches online, they're rested for the game. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this changes the way NFL teams practice in the future.
Yeah, and hopefully we won't get more data to study coming seasons. The trend ends this season. That's it. Maybe there won't be another way. Hopefully you can't take advantage of that one moving forward.
That's the crazy thing about betting this year is you kind of have to wait until 30 minutes before the game starts if you want like a perfectly accurate line. Because someone can get COVID on Friday. Someone can get COVID tomorrow. Like, knock on wood, Patrick Mahomes could get COVID tomorrow.
Yeah, and
that line shifts dramatically if that happens.
Yeah, and you could even get COVID and not be able to afford to bet on the game. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah, exactly. You could lose your job. Yeah.
And that's why I liked it. I did the Bama wager because it forced me to wait to bet because it's all kind of depending on the Packers outcome. So I can't do any rash decision sleepwalking to eat my almonds at 3:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning.
Yeah. It's going to be great when I get to watch the Rams play first game of the weekend and then don't have to worry about it again for the rest of I can just enjoy the rest of the games instead of freaking out the whole weekend about what's going to happen.
Yeah, and even if things don't go your way, you embarrassed Russell Wilson on the road in a playoff game. That's a pretty good season.
Absolutely. I mean, coming into this year, I said the Rams are going to go 9-7 and miss the playoffs. So they already They've already done better than I thought.
Yeah, congratulations, Rams fans.
Yeah.
Shouts to Pasadena. Those are our boys. And while we're on the Browns game, one prop I like just for, I think he shows up this game. Jarvis Landry plus 200 anytime touchdown. I like the player. I like the hands. I think he shows up here.
He killed it last week too.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the heart and soul of this Cleveland team. He's just such a perfect football player, and I love everything he brings to the table.
It's kind of weird that like he was the first piece that Cleveland brought in. That was like meant to like change the culture of the football team, and he's done that.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And I think he's one of the more slept on receivers in the NFL because, like, having a guy who can get you 7 yards anytime he wants, you can build an offense around that. And they, similar to how Buffalo surrounded Josh Allen with the right tools, they kind of have the right tools around Nick Chubb. So,
yeah, man, imagine this team with Odell Beckham.
Yeah, imagine him as the fourth option on this offense. The best chance to win. I'm going to write my PhD dissertation on why stud receivers never help you win.
Yeah, honestly.